Hey y'all, welcome back to another Mondays with Mandy. So last week I started talking about if you got a sudden influx of clients, and I think I went with 10, what would happen to your systems? How would that affect you, and what experience would your clients get of you? Would they get this frazzled version who had operations and systems that weren't prepared for this influx, or would they get a calm, cool, collected version because you are good and have things set up? And what I've come to discover is a lot of people are not prepared for an influx of clients. And, or they may think like, oh, there's not that much stuff that goes into onboarding someone. It really won't be that big of a deal. But when you really sit back and start thinking about it, there are a lot of touch points, and some are very small, but there are quite a few touch points that go along with onboarding a client. And the reason that I find it so important is because if you think about it from a client standpoint, here they are, they're talking to a potential coach or service provider. We're high ticket, high value providers. And so, not that you're sitting there trying to convince this person to work with you, but there could be some level of nervousness on their end because they're handing over a big chunk of money and they're putting a lot of trust into you. And you want them to feel held, and especially when it comes to a lot of coaches that I've worked with. They can deal with some very sensitive topics for people. And so you really want these clients to feel held and safe and like this was a good investment and they're making the right choice. So if your onboarding process is disjointed and kind of frazzled, that can tend to result in more refund requests, unsatisfied people, and you really just want them to be wowed from start to finish. Now, there are some folks out there that can just never be satisfied, and they are the exception. So we will not concern ourselves with them. But if you really think about the onboarding process, you're on the phone or you're talking to them in DMs or, whatever it may be. And from there, you have the contract, you have any additional payments, initial emails with maybe instructions or intro videos, any access that they're going to need, any future scheduling that they're going to need. And then on the back end, you have a CRM to update. Maybe you have a tracking dashboard that you need to update so you know how long they're in your program. There's just a various amount of things that should be automated to make your life easier and to make the onboarding process as smooth as possible for your clients. And if you want to be sitting on the beach drawing in clients, you want that stuff automated because you want to enjoy your vacation and be onboarding these people so that when you get back, they're ready to roll and you haven't had to spend all this time doing all these little bitty things. So things to think about when it comes to your systems and processes. If you have any questions on this, definitely let me know. Send me a DM. I have my Illumination Intensive, which this is one of the main topics that we go over, is cleaning up this onboarding process, because it is one of the top items and main things that you want to get going, because then from there it's easier to automate everything else that's a part of your customer journey. So have any questions, let me know. Thank you for tuning in to today's Monday with Mandy, and I will see you next week.